Eric Woodyard from the Deseret News. Coach, before the game even started, your assistant, Igor was announced with him getting the Suns position, man. Just how proud are you of him getting that and, still, focusing on helping you guys get the victory tonight as well?
Yeah, I couldn't be more excited for Igor. I think, Phoenix is getting a guy that is both a terrific teacher, a tactician. I've known Igor since I was an assistant at Duke, and he was touring the U.S. as a young coach, living in Belgrade, and so we have a special relationship that dates back, over 20 years ago. So he got into the NBA. He actually left me when I was coaching at Missouri, and I didn't take it personally. I did a little more of that, So I'm excited for him. And he got in the NBA, and he's been a terrific assistant in the NBA for a long time, and very deserving, and can't thank him enough for what he's given me personally in our program, over the last 4 years. So just excited for him, and, we'll try to keep him here as long as we can.
Quin, Brian Smith, Houston Chronicle. Mm-hmm. What keyed your guys' start in this game that was so different versus game one? Mm-hmm. And did you feel like your team was more physical tonight for 4 quarters?
I thought our reads offensively were better, and guys were able to be aggressive because of that. They were making quicker decisions. I thought that helped our confidence, the fact that we got that early. And I'm not sure. I think we were more disciplined. And that maybe allowed us to be stronger defensively. I thought collectively, we defended as a group. You're going to have breakdowns against these guys because they're so good. They put so much pressure on you. But I thought defensively, we had a really good collective effort, and we're a little tougher minded on defense, more disciplined with what we were trying to do.
Kyle Goon, Salt Lake Tribune. Quin, you've been talking about how, no one player can replace Ricky Rubio's production. I mean, when you look at that stat sheet, Donovan's assist totals and some of the scoring off the bench that happened, I mean, is that kind of what you see guys coming together to replace that a little bit?
Yeah, I think our team takes pride in that, and I think the guys that are coming off the bench know that they have the confidence of both the staff and, the other guys in the team to attack, and if they make a mistake, to get back and keep their concentration and keep competing. So when guys have confidence in each other, it allows them, I think, the confidence individually to step up. And obviously, Alec was terrific this year, this game, the burst that he gave us. And then obviously Dante, gave us really big minutes down the stretch. So both those guys in particular, had big nights, and we had 6 guys in double figures. So that speaks to to those guys playing at a high level.
Tim McMahon, ESPN. What do you like about Dante defensively against Harden?
I'm sorry?
What do you like about Dante defensively against Harden?
Well, it's hard. You can't put any one guy and hang that on one player. So I think, we've said just to try to make him work. And I don't know, he had 21 in the first half, so he's still gonna be able to, be efficient and score. I think Dante, has some size and some length, and we've had confidence in Dante, taking difficult matchups. I don't. No one's congratulating each other on what happened. For us defensively, I think we need to be better. Like I said, he's not a player that any one guy can guard. So the fact that Dante can come in and and give us some minutes and compete and battle, is a big thing.
Coach Kim Davis from Chalk Talk, can you talk about just the kind of start you had and to be able to get a lead like you did, and then when they made the run to hold them off?
That to me was maybe the most important thing in the game, to get off to a good start and play well, and then that they're going to come back. Just a question of how far and how quickly. And I thought that they cut that gap and not only made it a game, but basically took control of the game. I think we could feel that. So at that point, for our guys to I think to keep their focus on what we were trying to do, to continue to run, to continue to shoot, and try to defend, was, says a lot about the team and how they, how they functioned together, that they didn't break at that point.
Kurt Cragthorpe, Salt Lake Tribune. Quinn, along those lines, how would you describe Joe Ingles' contribution to both the start and the finish?
Well, I was giving Joe a hard time. He started last year probably as our fifth wing, and he wasn't that for long. But I've mentioned it before. I think every time that Joe's needed to step up his game, he's been able to do that, or at least he's committed to that. And I think over time he's improved, and he knew tonight that we were going to have to take and make some shots, and so he was prepared to do that. And I thought he was aggressive, not just shooting the ball, which he was, but he also was able to drive the ball some and make some plays. So he's been doing that for this year, and so I'm not surprised, but it's certainly a very timely performance given the situation.
Kyle Goon, Salt Lake Tribune. Donovan came out and really seemed to have a strong feel for passing the ball and making plays that way tonight. What do you think that kind of reflected in his preparation? What had he done that week?
Yeah, I think that we spent a lot of time looking at different pick and roll situations and trying to make the right reads and checking down on certain things to see how they were playing us. And that's a lot, to ask Donovan to put the ball in his hands at the point and then expect him to make those decisions as well. Sometimes that's harder than scoring, especially for someone that, they don't do that all game long, and certainly in a setting like this. So he was focused on that. He was focused on making the right play, and thought he not only made some creative passes, but he made some simple passes that were reflective of him making good decisions. Okay.
Adam Spelling, Sports Radio 610. Mike, what was the problems defensively, especially in the first half?
I thought it's about the same that happened in Minnesota. We didn't come out and they didn't feel us, and they made the shots that we kind of left them open. They did their part, but we just, it just seemed like it took us a quarter, at least a quarter and a half to turn up the juices, and we were down 19 before we started doing it. I thought after that, it's like any game, you come back from 19, things have to go right, and they had a little spurt and they hit some great shots, and that stuff happens, but you can't get down 19. Not that a team like this are too good.
Kyle Quin, Salt Lake Tribune. Do you think the Jazz kind of brought an added level of physicality tonight?
I don't think it's physicality as much as just they were good. The other night they were missing some of those shots. Tonight they didn't miss them. Ingles and Crowder, especially in the first couple of quarters, they were hitting things that, we just didn't have the necessary. Then we started switching and not switching, and we got messed up because we didn't have the right intensity. When you do that, then you start trying to figure it out, and now you're lost. And, we just lost our way first half, and I thought we played better. So, series is on. We have to get it going now.
Coach Reed Lamance, Houston Chronicle. All season you guys were able to flip the switch, it seemed like, when you needed to. You showed a little bit of almost flipping it a couple times, but it never stayed on.
We flipped it. We came back from 19 down, went 5 ups. We flipped it. Then they flipped it back on us. So you got to give them credit. They played great down the stretch. They hit shots. They did what they were supposed to do. I thought we missed some shots we should have made. But we put ourselves in that hole. You put yourselves in that hole, then that happens sometimes. You get a call that go against you. You get a open shot you miss, they make, or they make a hard one. So you got to try to avoid that by coming out with the necessary energy, the necessary moxie at the first of the game, and we did not do that.
Jonathan Fagan, Houston Chronicle. This might be what you were alluding to about the switching, but what led to so many very open threes for them, particularly those last 8 minutes after you had made some of the corrections?
I'll have to look at the film a little bit. I don't know exactly. I thought that they would break us down and we were kind of rotating in, and they'd kick it out. And they made great plays. One, a couple of times we messed up defensively, and there was a breakdown. The guy got in. We had to rotate, and then they kicked it. I think, you'd have to go back. I don't know, out of 8 threes that they hit, maybe 6 of them we had different reasons why we screwed it up. Wasn't always the same ones or the same guys or whatever. But we can correct that. We can correct everything, and we can correct our energy, and we can correct the necessary focus that we need to have. And you know, you get lulled into sleep. You think this stuff's easy. It's not easy. It's the NBA. It's semifinals. It's not easy. And we kind of get lulled into it, and we paid for it.
Tim Cato, SB Nation. How much? You know, you said the defense did make some mistakes in the first half. You know, how much of that
I would
was?
say we made some mistakes.
For sure. How much of that was the slip screens and that wrinkle that it seemed like they brought in that first half?
Well, they did it the first game, and they didn't really capitalize on it. We made some mistakes in the first game. They hit the shots tonight, but yeah, we know that's what they do. They slip screens and they barrel down. They go to the right, and we talked about it. I just didn't think we did a really good job, and then we kind of panicked a little bit. Not panic in a sense. Overthought it, overdid it, over machoed, and we just didn't do what we talked about for a period of about 5 minutes. And I think at halftime they got together and figured out, how to do a better job. And we did it in the third quarter. Then the fourth quarter, I don't think it was as much as the slip screens that got us. It just other things happened.
And ESPN, with Donovan Mitchell, you obviously worry about his scoring first. Why do you think he was able to be as successful as he was tonight as a facilitator?
Because the guys were hitting shots. I mean, he was breaking us down. He was getting in there, and he wasn't finished. He was hitting guys in the corner, and they made all the shots. He's a handful. Whether he's scoring or not, he's a handful. But we can't give up. Yes, so there's certain things in a game you're going to live with. You can't. Certain things you just can't stop. They're that good. And it's the same as James or Chris or whatever. But there are certain things that we have to stop, and we did not do that. I gave them a 19-point lead. We didn't get back sometimes. We didn't get matched up. We didn't switch when we were supposed to switch. I mean, just different things that we screwed up, and I thought it was from a lack of toughness or mental toughness, not toughness, but mental toughness, and we did fix it. But, next game we have to do it for 48 minutes. These guys are good. And we kept warning them they're good, but we saw them tonight how good they are.
Mike, Houston Chronicle. Chris Paul finishes with some good numbers, but in the stretch when the Jazz take the lead in the fourth quarter, he looked like he was off his game, off his rhythm. He looked like he struggled a little bit. What did you just think of Chris's overall night and where he's at?
I thought he played well. He brought us back. He's scrappy as heck. There was a lot of guys that were off. I don't think we played very well totally. As a whole, mostly the first half. I was just disappointed in the first half. We're down 19. It's tough against good teams to come back. You spend a lot of energy and all that, and I thought maybe at the end of the game we got a little tired. But I thought there's a lot of guys just didn't play up to normal standard. But again, stuff happens. We'll be fine. We'll regather and we'll go to Utah. If we're good enough, we'll beat them.
Mike Brian Smith, Houston Chronicle. After Game 3 against Minnesota, the game you guys lost, you were asked about, was that a wake-up call? And you said, you don't believe in wake-up calls. Is this a wake-up call for you guys? Just because you haven't played a full 48 minutes in the playoffs yet.
Again, guys, we're still 5-2. I mean, we're not, we haven't played 48 minutes. You don't beat people by 40 points. It just doesn't happen. We're pretty comfortable. So it could be a wake-up call. They're awake. I mean, it's just, sometimes human nature takes over, and sometimes you're trying and you don't realize that we're a step slow and all that. But we'll be ready. We'll be ready. Whether it's a wake-up call or not, we'll be ready. Thanks, guys. All right.